They're going to execute me at dawn. I can hear them building the gallows outside. The sound of hammers on wood echoes through the stone walls of my cell. Each strike is a countdown. Each nail driven is one moment closer to death. My name is Ember Nightingale. I'm 27 years old. I'm an Omega, and I'm accused of murdering the Alpha King's entire family. Have you ever been blamed for something you didn't do? Had the entire world believe you're a monster when you're actually innocent? That's my reality. 3 months ago, the royal family was poisoned during a state dinner. King Zephyr's mother, the Queen Mother Eleanor, his younger sister, Princess Aurora, his 8-year-old nephew, Prince Marcus, all dead within hours. A horrific, painful death from wolfsbane mixed into the wine. And I'm the one who served that wine. I'm the royal taster. My job is to test all food and drink served to the royal family, to protect them from exactly this kind of assassination. But the night of the dinner, I was late, delayed by a summons from the head steward. By the time I arrived, the wine had already been poured, the dinner already started. I tried to stop it, tried to warn them, but I was too late. They drank, they died, and every piece of evidence points to me. The wolfsbane was found in my quarters. My fingerprints were on the poison bottle. Witnesses claim they saw me near the wine storage earlier that day. It's all fabricated, all planted. But no one believes me, especially not King Zephyr. He was away during the dinner meeting with neighbouring alphas. He returned to find his entire family dead and me in custody. The grief in his eyes when he looked at me, the raw, devastating hatred. I'll never forget it. "You killed them," he'd said, his voice cold as winter. "You murdered my family. Why?" "I didn't. I swear I was set up. Someone planted lies, all lies." He'd grabbed me by the throat, lifting me off the ground. For a moment I thought he'd kill me right there. "You'll hang for this, slowly, painfully, and I'll watch you die." That was 3 months ago. 3 months of interrogations, torture, desperate attempts to prove my innocence. But the evidence is too perfect, too complete. Whoever framed me knew exactly what they were doing. And now at dawn, I die. I should be terrified, should be crying, begging, praying for a miracle. Instead, I'm angry, furious, because I'm innocent and I'm going to die anyway. And the real killer, whoever they are, gets away with it. Footsteps echo in the corridor outside my cell, heavy, purposeful. I know those footsteps. I've heard them in my nightmares every night for 3 months. King Zephyr, Stormclaw, come to gloat before my execution. The cell door opens. He fills the doorway, 6.5 feet of barely controlled rage, dark hair, sharp features, eyes that are a pale, intense blue. He looks like he hasn't slept in months. Dark circles, gaunt cheeks. The grief has hollowed him out. "Tomorrow morning," he says without preamble, "you hang. I know, I can hear them building the gallows. Good. I want you to spend your last night thinking about what you did, about the people you murdered." "I didn't murder anyone." His hand shoots out, grabs my throat, slams me against the stone wall. Don't you dare claim innocence. Not now. Not after everything." I should be scared. He could crush my windpipe right now and no one would stop him, but I'm too angry to be scared. "I am innocent," I gasp. "Someone framed me, planted evidence, set me up perfectly, and you're too consumed by grief to see it." "I see a poisoner who murdered my family. That's all there is to see." "Then you're blind and stupid, and you're letting the real killer walk free while you execute the wrong person." His grip tightens. I can't breathe. Vision's starting to grey at the edges. Then, suddenly, he releases me. stumbles back like I've burned him. His eyes are wide, shocked, almost terrified. What? His voice breaks. What are you? I rub my throat, gasping. What are you talking about? Your scent. He backs further away. No, this isn't possible. What isn't possible? He's breathing hard, staring at me like I've grown a second head. You're my mate. The words don't make sense. Can't make sense. What? My mate. My fated mate. He sounds devastated, horrified. The mate bond, I just felt it. When I touched you, the recognition, that's impossible. You're going to execute me tomorrow. You can't be my mate. I know. He's pacing now, agitated. I know it's impossible. I know it doesn't make sense, but the bond doesn't lie. Goddess help me, you're mine. I stare at him, trying to process. This is a trick, some kind of psychological torture. It's not a trick. I wish it was. He stops pacing, looks at me with anguish. Do you feel it? The pull, the recognition? And now that he's said it, now that I'm paying attention, yes, I feel it, a pull, toward him, a bone-deep certainty, a sense of rightness despite everything being completely wrong, the mate bond, undeniable, unmistakable. No, I whisper, no, this can't be happening. We're mates, he laughs bitterly. The woman who murdered my family is my fated mate. The goddess has a cruel sense of humour. I didn't murder your family. Then who did? He rounds on me. Who had access? Who had opportunity? Who had the poison in their quarters? I don't know, but it wasn't me. Someone planted that evidence. Someone set me up perfectly. Why? Why would someone frame you specifically? I don't know. Maybe because I was convenient. Maybe because I had access. Maybe... I stop. Maybe because they knew you'd be too blinded by grief to question the evidence. He stares at me. You're saying someone calculated that I'd be irrational? You are irrational. You've spent 3 months torturing me, demanding confessions, so consumed by vengeance that you never stopped to ask if the evidence was too perfect. The evidence is overwhelming. The evidence is planted. Think, Zephyr. Really think. I'm the royal taster. My entire job is to protect the royal family from poison. Why would I poison them? You could have been paid, bribed, coerced. By who? I have no connections outside the palace, no debts, no suspicious contacts. Who would I be working for? He's quiet, actually thinking for the first time. And the poison in my quarters, I continue. Why would I keep it? Why not dispose of it immediately, keeping evidence that damning makes no sense unless someone else put it there? Your fingerprints were on the bottle, which means someone made me touch it, maybe weeks earlier, for some legitimate reason, then used that bottle for the actual poisoning. I step closer to the bars separating us. You want justice for your family? Then stop executing the convenient scapegoat and find the real killer. If you're innocent, and that's a massive if, then who did it? I don't know. Someone with access to the wine storage, someone who could forge evidence, someone who benefited from their deaths. I pause. Who inherits if you die without an heir? His expression shifts. My cousin, Lord Victor Hale. And has Lord Victor been helpful during the investigation, eager to see justice done? He's been... Zephyr stops. He's been pushing for a quick execution, saying the pack needs closure. Convenient. Execute me quickly before anyone looks too closely at the evidence. Victor wouldn't. He's family. Family members kill for power all the time. You know that. He's silent for a long moment, processing, doubting. Finally, even if you're right, even if you're innocent, it doesn't change the mate bond. We're still fated mates. So? So I can't execute my mate. The bond won't allow it. Even if you are guilty, and I'm still not convinced you're not, I physically cannot kill you. Then what happens to me? I don't know. He runs his hands through his hair. I need time. I need to think. You need to investigate properly. Look at the evidence without grief clouding your judgment. Find the real killer. And if the real killer is you, then execute me. But if it's not, if I'm innocent, then you've been torturing your own mate for 3 months. How will you live with that? He flinches. Direct hit. I'll halt the execution, he says finally, temporarily, while I investigate, but you stay in this cell, under guard. If you're lying, if this is some elaborate manipulation, it's not. I'm innocent, and I'll help you prove it. Why would you help me after everything I've done to you? Because I want justice too. Those people were under my protection. I failed them. If I can help find their real killer, maybe I can make that right. He studies me for a long moment. I'll be back tomorrow with questions. You'd better have answers. I'll tell you everything I know, which is more than you bothered to ask in 3 months. He leaves without another word. I sink to the floor, shaking. Zephyr Stormclaw is my mate. The man who's been torturing me for months. The man who was going to execute me at dawn. My fated mate. The goddess really does have a cruel sense of humour. The next day, Zephyr returns at midday with a stack of files. I reviewed the evidence, he says without preamble. You're right, it's too perfect. Relief floods through me. You believe me? I believe there are questions that weren't asked, inconsistencies that weren't addressed. He opens the first file. Walk me through that night. Every detail. I tell him everything. How I was summoned by the head steward, Marcus Gray, to discuss menu changes. How the meeting ran late. How by the time I reached the dining hall, the wine had already been served. Marcus Gray? Zephyr interrupts. How long has he been head steward? About a year. He was hired right after... I stop. Right after the previous steward retired. Suddenly. There were rumours he was forced out, but I don't know details. Zephyr makes a note. Who else had access to the wine storage? The wine master, the head steward, senior kitchen staff, you, your family members. And Victor. As your cousin, yes. He has access to most palace areas. More notes. The poison in your quarters. When did you last access that storage chest? I don't have a storage chest. I have a small trunk for personal items. It's never locked. I have nothing valuable to protect. So anyone could have planted evidence there. Yes. He's quiet, reading through reports. The witnesses who claimed they saw you near the wine storage. I want their names. I list them. 3 servants, all relatively new hires. All hired within the past 6 months, Zephyr notes, all by Marcus Gray. The pattern is emerging, clear, damning. It was Marcus, I say. He set this up, hired false witnesses, planted evidence, orchestrated everything. Possibly, but I need proof. He looks at me. The mate bond complicates this. Why? Because now I have a conflict of interest. I want you to be innocent. The bond makes me want to protect you, which means I can't trust my own judgment. Then get someone else to investigate, someone neutral. Who? Everyone in the palace knew about the execution. Everyone formed opinions. There's no one neutral left. Then investigate carefully. Question everything. Don't let the bond or your doubt cloud the facts. He stands. I'm moving you. To secure chambers in my personal wing. You'll be under constant guard, but you'll have better conditions while we sort this out. Why? Because you're my mate. Bond or no bond, guilt or innocence, I can't leave you in a dungeon cell. He pauses. and because if you are innocent, I owe you better than this. And if I'm guilty? Then the bond is a curse from the goddess. But even then, I won't torture my own mate. We'll find another solution. What kind of solution? I don't know yet. Exile, maybe. Permanent imprisonment under humane conditions. Something. He opens the cell door. Come, let's get you cleaned up and fed properly. Then we continue the investigation. The chambers in Zephyr's wing are luxurious compared to the dungeon. A real bed, windows, a bathing room with hot water, clean clothes. I stand under the hot water for what feels like hours, washing away 3 months of filth and fear. When I emerge, Zephyr is waiting in the main chamber. He's brought food, actual food, not prison slop. Eat, he commands. You're too thin. I want to argue, maintain my pride, but I'm starving. The food is incredible. I eat until I'm uncomfortably full. Better? He asks. Yes, thank you. Don't thank me. I'm the reason you were starving in the first place. His expression is grim. The mate bond is making this complicated. I keep wanting to comfort you, protect you, even while part of me still believes you might be guilty. I understand. The bond doesn't care about logic. No, it doesn't. He moves to the window. Tell me about yourself before all this. Who are you? Why do you care? Because you're my mate, and I know nothing about you except your role as royal taster. I consider lying, keeping my distance, but what's the point? I'm an orphan. My parents died when I was 10. I was raised in the palace kitchens. The head cook took pity on me. I worked my way up from scullery maid to taster. I have no living family, no close friends, nothing except my work. That's why framing you was so perfect. No one to defend you, no connections to investigate. Yes. He's quiet for a moment. I'm sorry for what I put you through, for not investigating properly, for letting grief make me cruel. I understand grief. I lost my parents. It makes you irrational. That's not an excuse. No, but it's a reason. I join him at the window. Tell me about them. Your family. Pain crosses his face. Why? Because they deserve to be remembered as people, not just as victims, and because I need to understand what was stolen to find who stole it. He's silent so long I think he won't answer. Then, my mother was kind. Too kind, everyone said. But she made the palace feel like a home. She knew every servant's name, remembered birthdays, cared. She sounds wonderful. She was. My sister Aurora was fierce, studying to be a warrior. She was going to join the elite guard. She would have been magnificent. His voice breaks. And Marcus, my nephew, he was bright, curious, asked 1,000 questions a day. He wanted to know how everything worked. Tears slipped down my cheeks. They sound like they were loved. They were everything, and someone took them from me. We'll find who did it, I promise. How can you promise that? Because I'm good at my job. I notice things, details others miss. That's why I became royal taster. I can detect poisons other people can't. Then help me. Use those skills. Help me. Find the killer. I will. But you have to trust me. Actually trust me, not just tolerate me because the mate bond says you have to. He looks at me, really looks at me. I'm trying. It's hard, but I'm trying. That's all I ask. 2 weeks later. The investigation is progressing. We've discovered Marcus Gray disappeared the day after my arrest, vanished completely. His quarters were cleared out, his finances emptied. The 3 witnesses who testified against me, all gone too. Left the palace within days of the execution being scheduled. And Victor, Lord Victor Hale, has been pushing hard for my execution order to be reinstated, claiming the pack needs closure, that delaying justice is cruel to the victim's memory. He's desperate, Zephyr says during one of our evening strategy sessions. He thought this was settled. Now he's watching his plan unravel. Do you have enough evidence to arrest him? Not yet. Everything is circumstantial. We need proof. Direct connection between Victor and Marcus Gray. What about financial records? Victor's too smart for that. If he paid Marcus, it wasn't traceable. I think for a moment. What about the poison? Where was it sourced? We don't know. The bottle in your quarters had no marking. But wolfsbane isn't easy to acquire. It's heavily regulated. Someone had to obtain it illegally. I'll have my investigators track wolfsbane sales on the black market. He makes notes. What else? Marcus was head steward for a year before the poisoning. He had access to everything. What if he wasn't just planning this one crime? What if he was stealing, embezzling, something Victor needed to cover up? Zephyr's eyes light up. The financial audit. There was a discrepancy in the palace accounts 6 months ago, never fully investigated because the poisoning happened and everyone forgot about it. Exactly. He's already moving toward his desk. If Marcus was embezzling on Victor's orders, there will be a trail. Hidden, but findable. We work through the night, comparing financial records, looking for patterns, and we find it. Small amounts, siphoned over months, always to accounts that traced back to shell companies owned by Victor. This is it, Zephyr breathes. This proves Victor was working with Marcus, proves conspiracy. Is it enough to arrest him? Combined with everything else? Yes. We have motive. He was embezzling and needed to cover it up. Opportunity. He had palace access. And conspiracy. Marcus worked for him and implemented the plan. What about Marcus? Can you find him? If he's smart, he's left the kingdom, but I'll have trackers search. He's a loose end Victor will want eliminated. If we find Marcus first, he might testify against Victor to save himself. Exactly. Zephyr stands. I'm calling the council tomorrow, presenting evidence, arresting Victor. Be careful, he's desperate. Desperate people are dangerous. I know, but this ends tomorrow. Justice for my family, proof of your innocence, everything. He crosses to me. We've been keeping physical distance, the mate bond making things complicated, but now he pulls me into his arms, just holds me. I'm sorry, he whispers, for everything, for not believing you, for torturing you, for nearly executing you. I know. I don't deserve forgiveness. Probably not, but you'll have to earn it anyway because, like it or not, we're mates. I know, and He pulls back to look at me. I'm starting to feel it. The bond. More than just recognition. I'm starting to care about you. That's terrifying. Yes, because caring about the woman I nearly killed is complicated. That's an understatement. He touches my face. But I want to try, after this is over, after justice is served. I want to try to make this work. Why? Because you're brilliant and brave, and you survived 3 months of hell without breaking. Because you're helping me find my family's killer despite having every reason to hate me. Because, he stops, because the goddess chose you for me, and maybe she knew something I didn't. I lean into his touch. Let's get through tomorrow first. Then we'll figure out the rest. Agreed. He kisses my forehead and leaves me to rest. Tomorrow we end this. Tomorrow I'm finally free. The council meeting. Victor looks confident when he enters the council chamber. He doesn't know yet. Thinks this is routine. Your Majesty, he greets Zephyr with a slight bow. I trust you finally decided to proceed with the execution. The pack is growing restless. Sit down, Victor. Something in Zephyr's tone makes Victor pause. Is something wrong? Everything is wrong, and you know exactly why. Victor's expression shifts, subtle, but I see it. Fear. I'm afraid I don't understand. Then let me clarify. Zephyr gestures. Guards bring in boxes of evidence, financial records, witness statements, everything we've compiled. Over the past 2 weeks, I've conducted a thorough investigation into my family's murder. An investigation I should have conducted 3 months ago instead of accepting the convenient evidence against my mate. Victor's eyes widen at the word mate. Your mate? You mean the poisoner? I mean Ember Nightingale, who is innocent, who was framed by you and Marcus Gray. That's absurd. I would never. You were embezzling from palace funds. Marcus Gray was helping you. When the financial audit got too close, you decided to eliminate the royal family, people who might discover your crimes, and frame Ember for it. You have no proof. I have extensive proof. Zephyr starts laying out documents. Financial records showing transfers to your shell companies, testimony from servants about your meetings with Marcus, evidence that you hired the false witnesses, everything. Victor stands. This is a setup. You're so desperate to save your precious mate that you're fabricating evidence. Sit down. The command in Zephyr's voice is absolute. Victor sits. Where is Marcus Gray? Zephyr demands. I don't know. He disappeared after you paid him to poison my family, after he served his purpose. Tell me, Victor, were you planning to kill him too? Eliminate all loose ends? I didn't kill anyone. No, you had Marcus do it, kept your hands clean. But you gave the orders. You planned it. You murdered my mother, my sister, my 8-year-old nephew, for money. You can't prove that. I can prove the embezzlement. I can prove your connection to Marcus. I can prove you had motive and opportunity. That's enough to convict you of conspiracy at minimum. And once we find Marcus, and we will find him, he'll testify against you to save himself. Victor's composure cracks. They were in my way. Don't you understand? Eleanor was going to cut my allowance. Aurora was asking questions about the accounts. They were going to expose me. The confession hangs in the air. Shocked silence from the council members, then chaos. Guards moving to restrain Victor. Council members shouting questions. Zephyr just watches, cold satisfaction on his face. Victor Hale, you are under arrest for the murder of Queen Mother Eleanor, Princess Aurora, and Prince Marcus, for conspiracy, embezzlement, and attempted murder of Ember Nightingale. You will be held for trial. You can't do this. I'm your family. You were my family. Now you're just a murderer. Zephyr turns to the council. Ember Nightingale is officially pardoned of all charges. The execution order is permanently void. She is innocent. Relief floods through me so intensely I almost collapse. Innocent, officially innocent, free. Guards drag Victor away, still protesting his innocence. After the chaos settles, Zephyr finds me in the hallway. It's over, he says simply. Thank you for believing me, for investigating, for... He pulls me into his arms, just holds me. I'm sorry it took so long. Sorry I nearly killed you. Sorry for everything. I know. What happens now? I pull back to look at him. Now we figure out what we are. Mates, yes. But what kind of mates? Can we move past this? Can we build something real? I want to try, if you'll let me. Why should I? You tortured me for 3 months. You shouldn't. I don't deserve it. But I'm asking anyway, because the bond says we're meant to be together, and because I'm starting to think the goddess was right. That's not enough. The bond isn't enough. I know, so let me earn it. Let me prove I can be better than the man who nearly executed his own mate. I study him. This complicated, damaged, grieving man, my mate, whether I like it or not. 1 month, I say finally. What? 1 month. You have 1 month to prove you're worth forgiving, to prove we can be more than trauma bonded. And if I fail? Then I leave, mate bond or not. I'll find a way to live with the pull, but I won't spend my life with someone who can't move past what happened. That's fair, he takes my hand. 1 month, I'll prove it. We'll see. 1 month later, Zephyr has been trying, really trying. He's moved me into proper lunar quarters, not his dead mother's rooms, but new chambers specifically designed for me. He's given me a role in pack leadership. He includes me in decisions. He's been courting me, bringing me flowers, taking me on walks, telling me about his life, his fears, his dreams. He's been patient, no pressure about the mate bond, no demands for physical intimacy, just steady, careful attention, and I'm falling for him, not because of the bond, but because of who he is beneath the grief and rage. He's intelligent, thoughtful, fair. He genuinely cares about his pack, about justice, about making things right. He's also broken, damaged by loss, still grieving his family, but he's trying to heal, and I'm helping him. I found Marcus, he tells me at the end of the month. Where? Hiding in the border territories. He's agreed to testify against Victor in exchange for reduced sentence. Good. Your family deserves justice. They're getting it because of you, because you didn't give up even when everyone thought you were guilty. I had motivation. I didn't want to hang. He smiles slightly. Fair enough. He takes my hand. It's been a month. Have I earned forgiveness? Earned forgiveness? No, not completely. What you did, it's not something that gets erased in a month. His face falls. So you're leaving? I didn't say that. I said you haven't earned forgiveness, but... I squeeze his hand. You've earned a chance, a real chance to build something with me. Hope lights his eyes. You're staying? I'm staying, not because the bond demands it, but because I want to, because I see what we could be if we both keep trying. I'll keep trying every day for the rest of my life. Good, because I need more than trying. I need commitment. I need honesty. I need a partner, not just a mate. You'll have it, all of it. I promise. He kisses me then. Our first real kiss. Not driven by bond or desperation, just two people choosing each other. It's perfect and terrifying and exactly right. When we break apart, he's smiling, really smiling, for the first time since his family died. I love you, he says. I know it's fast. I know I don't deserve to. But I love you, Ember Nightingale. I'm not there yet. After everything, I can't just... I know. Take your time. I'll wait. But I'm getting there. Slowly, carefully. I'm starting to love you too. That's enough. That's more than enough. 1 year later. The memorial service for Zephyr's family is beautiful. The entire pack gathers to honour Queen Mother Eleanor, Princess Aurora, and Prince Marcus, to remember them properly, to celebrate their lives instead of just mourning their deaths. Zephyr speaks about each of them. His voice breaks several times, but he gets through it. I stand beside him, his hand in mine, offering silent support. After the service, we visit their graves. I wish you could have met them, he says quietly. They would have loved you. You think? My mother would have appreciated your intelligence. Aurora would have respected your survival instinct. Marcus would have asked you a million questions about poisons and how you detect them. I smile through tears. They sound wonderful. They were, and I'm grateful I had them, even if it wasn't long enough. Do you still... I hesitate. Do you still blame yourself for not being there? Sometimes, but I'm working through it. Therapy helps. You help. I'm glad. He turns to face me fully. I need to ask you something. What? Will you marry me, officially? We're already mates, but I want the ceremony, the vows, the public commitment. He pulls out a ring, beautiful but simple, I want everyone to know you're mine, that I chose you, not just because of the bond, but because I love you. Tears blur my vision. Yes, yes, I'll marry you. He slides the ring onto my finger, then kisses me thoroughly. Thank you, he whispers, for giving me another chance, for not giving up on me, for loving me despite everything. Thank you for proving you're worth it. I'll keep proving it, every day. 3 years later, final epilogue. Our son is born on a crisp autumn morning. Zephyr is beside me through the entire labour, holding my hand, whispering encouragement. When the midwife places our baby in my arms, he's crying. Not the baby, Zephyr. He's perfect, Zephyr breathes. He's absolutely perfect. He has your eyes, and your nose, and he's strong. Feel how strong he is. Our son, we name him Alexander after Zephyr's father, grips his father's finger with surprising strength. He's going to be trouble, I predict. All the best ones are. Zephyr kisses my forehead. Thank you. For this, for him, for everything. We made him together. This is ours. Ours, he agrees. Our family, built on something real. Later, when it's just the three. Of us, Zephyr speaks quietly. I never thought I'd have this again, a family. After losing everyone, I thought I was meant to be alone. You're not alone. You have me, Alexander, the pack, people who love you. I know, and I'm grateful, every single day. He looks at me. Do you ever regret it? Staying, forgiving me. Sometimes I remember those 3 months, and I get angry. What you put me through, it was terrible. I know, I'm sorry. But, I interrupt, I don't regret staying, don't regret building this life with you, because yes, it started in darkness, but look at where we are now. He pulls me close, careful of the baby between us. I love you, more than I ever thought I could love again. I love you too, even though you're a pain in the arse sometimes. He laughs, actually laughs. Fair assessment. Alexander makes a soft sound, drawing our attention back to him. He's going to grow up hearing this story, I say. About how we met, how you almost executed me. We'll tell him the whole truth, the good and the bad. How his mother was the strongest person I ever met. How she survived false accusations and torture and still chose to love. And how his father was an idiot who nearly killed his mate but learned to be better. That too, he kisses my hair, will raise him to question evidence, to seek truth, to be better than I was. To be fair, just kind. All of that, everything we are now, everything we learned from our mistakes. I look at our son, at my mate, at the life we've built from ashes and accusations and near execution. It shouldn't have worked. By all logic, we should have been destroyed by our beginning. But somehow we survived, healed, grew into something real. I was the poisoner who killed the Alpha King's family, except I wasn't. I was the innocent woman framed, tortured, nearly executed, and he was the grieving king consumed by vengeance until he discovered I was his fated mate and had to choose between rage and truth. We chose truth, chose each other, chose to build something beautiful from something terrible, and now we have this, family, love, a future, not perfect, never perfect, but real and ours, and absolutely worth fighting for. The end. Subscribe now to never miss future stories, because this is only the beginning of the incredible content coming your way.